So, you finally got a looper pedal. Congrats. Too bad you're about to set it up completely wrong. All right, first things first. You got your instrument, you're gonna have your looper of some kind, and you're gonna need an amp of some kind too. But we can simplify all that for the sake of the video. All right, first things first, what you need is a clean signal. You need your instrument to the looper to the amp. After you have this set up, you should be good to go. What do we do with effects loops?
Hello, and welcome to the Wall of Wisdom. This segment will most likely show up in multiple lessons as we go. Let's review what we learned so far. We learned that we have an instrument. The instrument then plugs into the looper. After that, it plugs into the amp. I prefer to use a speaker, to each their own in that aspect. Now, do not plug your effects pedal into the looper, between the looper and the speaker. Plug it in between the instrument and the looper. Again, do not plug it in between the looper and the speaker. Plug your effects or whatever you're using between the instrument and the looper. This will make sure that you don't get any weird distorted sounds or anything like that.
Hey guys, we suck. I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. I cannot wait to get through this part and get to the real meat and potatoes. So let's get through this real quick. We have three categories of loopers, okay? We got single channel loopers. We usually have dual channel loopers. Then we have, you spent so much money, it can now do whatever the hell you want. You have no excuse besides for the fact that you just suck. Moving on. Let's look at single channel loopers. When I say input and output, it's not rocket science. On most single output loopers, you will have an input that is your instrument side that will lead to an output that will lead to a speaker or an amp, doesn't matter. This happens to be a Nano 360, nice looper. Cool single feature of this looper is the memory. You can save your loops if you want to come back and jam to something later. This is a good starter looper. If you have this, it's super powerful. Do not knock these out. Other than that, you know, you got brands like Ditto that's super popular, but we're gonna upgrade to loopers. We're just gonna move on. Look up single channel loopers. I never had a single channel looper. I started with a dual channel looper. That's what we're gonna get to. Next up, we're on to dual channel loopers. This is the one I started with. This is an RC30, made famous probably by Ed Sheeran. He made a whole album off of this looper. When you talk about a powerful looper, a two channel looper is where you should start, in my personal opinion. Once you have two channels, the sky is the limit. Cool feature about this too, you also got volume controls of the independent channels. You have effects built into this, and you also can plug in a microphone. So with this microphone, it also offers phantom power. Not sure if you can see that or not there. Oh, there we go. It also offers phantom power. Phantom power, if you don't know what phantom power is, this mic is phantom power. This mic is not phantom power. Condenser mics, I call them studio mics too. They're always phantom power because they sound great. They pick up good. You can mic a room. I can sit back here and talk to you, and it's not a big deal. These mics just as powerful. Personally recommend using a microphone like this. It's an ATM 650. We'll cover that a little bit in the next series for timing when I use the microphone to make beats. You're really looking for directional sound. That's probably the most important part. Percussion mics are where to go. I recommend a directional mic personally. This is not phantom power. You just plug it in, you're done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Better for beatboxing into, and you don't get any of that ambient sound. So it's a lot more targeted. I wouldn't recommend this for speaking to your audience. You can speak with your audience through this, but in that case, you'd want two separate microphones hooked up. And typically these are going to be used for your studio. If you gig with these, everybody's going to look at you like you're crazy. It happened to me. I tried to gig with this when I first bought it just because I liked it so much. Who cares? All right, on to the next category. That is going to be you spent so much money and it can do anything in the world. This right here is a powerful tool. I am a boss boy till I die. I love their loopers. I use this personally because I used to DJ a lot, so I like being able to touch the pads and control the volumes with my fingers. Also, check out this one. Now, I do not recommend starting with this. This is a bad idea. You see all these outputs, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of different ways to plug that in. If you want me to cover that in a later video, there's videos on how to plug this in. You guys can figure that out. Microphone inputs still essentially work the same. You also have other big boy options as well. I don't know much about those. I haven't played with them. I was going to buy them. I use this for a very specific reason. Once you graduate to this level, usually that's when you're running into MIDIs. You can control the timing of other pads, synth pads, triggers, whatever you want. The sky's the limit. This baby is where it's at. Once we start the timing lesson, we're going to use this. We're going to use the single pad. When we start on lesson 3, we're going to use the single channel looper, and we're also going to use this. I'm going to use this just like it's a single channel looper for that first lesson. Maximum, I will be making 2 loops in the 3rd lesson of this series. After that, I'm going to start graduating up to using 2-3 layers, because we're going to start talking about layers and arrangements and how to switch between verses and choruses and just make things sound really cool overall. That's probably my favorite part. I cannot wait to get to the part where we talk about how to make this sound beautiful and how to make you stop sucking so you can make it sound beautiful too. I'm not going to cover the 2-channel looper. I'm going to cover this, but I can program this to act like a single channel or dual channel looper. So the first lesson here is going to be pretty manageable. First lesson is going to be manageable. I'm not going to make it that complicated. I'll use a floor switch with this that will act just like a single channel looper. I'm not going to use this to teach you how to loop, because there's a lot more to looping than what type of looper you have. Look up a YouTube video on how to plug it in. That's not why we're here. I'm here to help you stop sucking at looping. I'm not here to teach you how to plug your stuff in. Let's move this on to the next lesson.